Hello everyone, I am Laethas and welcome back for another video, and today I have my December 2017 manga haul to wrap up the end of the year, and I have quite a number of volumes. It is the holiday season. I did have some extra cash to spend on some more manga than I otherwise would, but enough of that. Let's just get right into the haul. Now, to start off with, I'm going to be showing my only vertical pickup for the month, and that is the 4th volume of Flying Witch. Now, I love this series, calm and relaxing, not for everyone, but it is certainly one I recommend picking up. I have since read this volume, and this one actually starts covering stuff that wasn't in the anime, so if you've seen that, this is new content, but otherwise, really fun series. Happy to continue buying and reading this, and we'll be picking up the 5th volume when that comes out. Next up, to go through my Kodansha pickups, I have the 2nd volume of Frau Faust. This series is, of course, by the same mangaka that is doing The Ancient Magus' Bride. I have not read this volume. I'm going to wait till the rest of the volumes are out before I inevitably just binge read the series, unless it gets too long. But yeah, if you're a fan of The Ancient Magus' Bride, I recommend checking this series out. Next up, finally, we got another volume of Happiness. Now, I haven't read this volume. Same thing with Frau Faust. Gonna wait till the series is out to continue reading Happiness. It's just one of those series I really want to binge read. Really love this series. Definitely recommend picking it up. Absolutely fantastic. Shuzo Oshimi just is a great mangaka. He knows what he's doing. And I'm very excited for the series to finish so I can finally get into this volume. Next up, I have Neo Parasite M. This, of course, is the counterpiece or the alternate piece to Neo Parasite F. This is by just an anthology comic about sort of Parasite in its mythos, kind of. But this, as opposed to being short stories by shoujo and josei authors, this one is by shonen and seinen authors. So, a little bit of a difference. There are some very strange stories, because not all of the people that worked on this were mangaka. Some were, like, sculptors, so there's some weird, like, claymations type stuff, but it's not too long. Really, if you want to see a video of me comparing the two, I can make one of those, because they are slightly different in their story style and stuff like that, but I did enjoy both of them. And the first story by Moto Hagio was especially good, so I definitely recommend picking this up, especially if you are a Parasite fan. And next up, I have a book that I have yet to get into, and that is Appleseed Alpha by Io Kuroda. Now, I know the original Appleseed is by Shiro Masamune, but apparently he had no input in this particular series, or at least I don't think he did. But if you've read this, let me know what you thought of it. I've yet to get into it, and if you want to, share your opinion, let me know. But as for mine, I have yet to read it, so here it is. And next up, I'm going to be getting into my Yen Press titles, and first off, we have the 4th volume of Kiss and White Lily for My Dearest Girl. I felt like this volume was better than the previous volume, so this series is kind of off and on for me. Because of that, it's not a super high priority, even though it is a Yuri, and I like to pursue those sort of aggressively. But, yeah, this one was better than Volume 3, in my opinion. I will be picking up Volume 5. If you're into Yuri, this is more of a Yuritopia-style story, sort of like Kindred Spirits on the Roof, I would say. So it jumps around a lot. It doesn't focus on one sort of pairing or grouping. So, know that if you're a Yuri fan going in, but, other than that, it's not bad, or at least, it's not to the point where I don't want to continue reading it, if that makes sense. But each volume is sort of like a give and take. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not. It just sort of depends, so, we'll continue to pick it up, but, it's not a very high priority for me. And next up, we have the first 2 omnibus volumes for Ubel Blatt. Now, I have not read either of these two. I hear this is, like, kind of similar to Berserk, but then I also hear it's not at all similar to Berserk. So I picked up the first 2 omnibus volumes. Let me know if you want to hear my thoughts and opinions on the series. I know these are volumes 0 and 1 as opposed to 1 and 2, but yeah, if you want to know my opinions on this series, let me know in the comments down below. But yeah, just the first 2 volumes, or volumes 0 and 1 of Ubel Blot. And next up, I have the first 3 volumes of Prison School. Now, I have seen the anime of Prison School, and the anime does cover everything that's in these 3 volumes, or 3 omnibus volumes, that I'm aware of. So, I've kind of already read all this stuff, even though I haven't read these volumes specifically, but I know everything that happens. So, I may not read these ones specifically. I may get into them, may not, and then pick it up where the anime leaves off, but you know, I did enjoy Prison School, and I will probably end up reading these volumes at some point, because I can't buy a series and then not read it, even though I kind of already know sort of what's going on in these volumes. But yeah, Prison School, it's a fun comedy, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. And next up, to get into my Viz Media series, I picked up the first of 2 volumes of SP Baby, the second volume coming out in February. It is 2-volume Josei series, so that alone has me interested, especially because it's going to be really cheap to pick up. I have not read this volume. I'm just going to wait till the entire series comes out, or the other volume comes out, to just read the whole thing. But yeah, if you've read this first volume, let me know what you think of it, because I'm very interested, and I haven't seen anyone else pick it up that I've watched so far. But SP Baby Volume 1. And next up, I don't think I showed this in the last haul, but I may have. I don't think I did, but let me know in the comments if I did. But the Water Dragon's Bride Volume 3. Now, I've only read the first volume of this series, but it's by Ray Toma, who did Dawn of the Arcana, and that was a very good series. I'm just going to wait till the rest of the volumes come out to binge it, unless it, of course, gets very long. But given her Dawn of the Arcana was only 13 volumes, I don't think this will get super long. It also doesn't seem like a story that will get very long, just from my initial impressions, but from what I've read in the first volume, definitely seems like a good story, just from there. But yeah, The Water Dragon's Bride Volume 3. Next up, I have the first volume of Astra Lost in Space. Now, this was in my 5 manga from 2017 to check out, or 5 new manga from 2017 to check out, and from the first, like, 2 chapters, 2-3, the first, like, half of the book, it was just meh, or okay, but then, like, the latter half, it definitely starts to pick up, so I'm very interested to see where this goes. I definitely see it being a very good series. Maybe not, like, a masterpiece, but definitely something worth reading. Probably, like the other series, just gonna binge it, unless it, of course, gets too long. That seems to be a theme with me, but, yeah, I would recommend checking out this first volume if you have not done so already. Again, it's part of Viz's Shonen Jump line, so it's their standard format, so very cheap to pick up, and I definitely think you should give it a go. And next up, I have the final 3-in-1 omnibus for Hanakimi. This is volume 22, 23, which is the end of the series, plus the after-school sort of companion, like, single volume side story thing. But I've not gotten into this yet. I will very shortly. Let me know if you want to know my opinions on the series. Yeah, Hanakimi Omnibus 8, or 3-in-1 8. Next up, I have the second volume of Tokyo Ghoul Re. I really enjoyed the first season of Tokyo Ghoul, and so I hear Re is slightly different than the original, but I have read a little bit of Re. It's been a long time. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till more volumes come out before I get into the series, but I imagine it being a very good series, and a series I will enjoy. And next up, I have the second omnibus for Sweet Blue Flowers. I'm gonna wait till the final 2 come out to read it. Of course, there's only gonna be 4 omnibuses, because it's only an 8-volume series. But yeah, this is a Yuri or Shoujo Ai by the same mangaka that did Wandering Sun, which is a fantastic series. Definitely recommend you checking out the anime or reading the manga. Very, very good series. Yeah, just picking up the second volume of the omnibus for Sweet Blue Flowers. I've seen the anime for this. I'm not sure how far that goes into the manga, but I have seen it. I did enjoy it quite a bit, and if you have read this volume in particular, or you're reading the series as it comes out in English, let me know what you think of it. But yeah, that is the second omnibus for Sweet Blue Flowers. And next up, I have the first 2-in-1 volume for Tenjo Tenge. Now, I did read this. It was kind of okay, but I think I'm going to pick up the second omnibus to sort of make a final decision on whether I want to continue the series or not. It's very strange because this would definitely be a shonen if certain aspects were just taken out, and the aspects in question aren't really necessary for the story. So it has a very shonen feel, but there's definitely reasons why it isn't a shonen. But it definitely feels very shonen-y to me. It's hard to sort of explain other than like to have read it and understand what it is I'm talking about. But this would feel very at home in a shonen series or in a shonen magazine if it weren't for a few things in it that could easily be taken out, and it wouldn't really affect the story so much. But yeah, that is the first volume of Tenjo Tenge. Pretty hesitant, but going to pick up the second volume to see sort of where it goes. If I don't like it after that, I'll probably drop the series. And next up, I have my first Junji Ito pickup, and that would be Shiver. It's just a collection of short stories by him. Now, unless people tell me that this is not very good or not on par with the rest of Junji Ito's stuff, I think I'm just going to leave this as the only Junji Ito work in my collection, just because I wasn't a huge fan, and horror just isn't something that typically really appeals to me all that much, but thought I'd give it a go with this short story collection, but didn't really enjoy it a whole lot. It's definitely, like, it's not bad by any means, it just isn't something I'm very much into, and I could definitely be reading other series as opposed to more Junji Ito, but let me know what you think of his other works and how they compare to this sort of anthology or compiled volume. But yeah, if you're a Junji Ito fan, I don't know if I would recommend this to you because this is the only work of his that I've read, but yeah, I do have this, and it was, it was my first experience with sort of his style, so I don't know if it's on par with the other stuff that he does, but have read it. Probably won't be picking up more of his stuff unless people tell me that this is nowhere close to his other works and how good those are, but there it is. Shiver by Junji Ito. And next up, I'm going to move into some Dark Horse releases. I have Dominion and Dominion Conflict #1, No More Noise. These are very similar to, like, the feel of Black Magic. It's just a lot of fun. If you enjoyed Black Magic, or you enjoy those sci-fi action comedy sort of fun series, then I recommend picking these up. Now, they are quite expensive, but they are quite high quality. Like, the pages are high quality. The outside, like, the cover material is, like, not that great, but the pages are very white. And very sort of durable feeling, I guess is the best way to put it, but I did enjoy both of these quite a fair bit, both by Shiro Masamune. Maybe sensing a theme going on here, but yeah, I did thoroughly enjoy both of these. Now, they are very dialogue heavy. I'm just going to open Conflict #1, because this is even more dialogue heavy. You can just... lots and lots of text, so it will take a while to get through this, even though it is, like, super thin, but there is a lot of story in there, so yeah. Don't think you're getting ripped off unless you're thinking about Dark Horse just pricing it too high, which may be the case because it's a $15 volume, but if you know where to get it, you can get it a lot cheaper than that, but did thoroughly enjoy these. If you like those sci-fi action stories, as I've said, I definitely recommend giving these a go. And next up, I also picked up Orion by Shiro Masamune. Now, I didn't enjoy this one nearly as much as Dominion, either Dominion or Black Magic. Don't know who I would recommend this to specifically, I just didn't think it was as good as the other two. So I would probably just recommend giving this one a pass, unless you just want to collect all of Shiro Masamune's stuff that is out in English. But I just found this one to be sort of meh, or okay, not that great. But there it is, Orion by Shiro Masamune. And now I'm going to move into my 7 Seas pickups. To start off with, I have the first volume of Magical Girl Spec Ops Asuka. Now, I did enjoy this. Not sure where it's going to go in the future, not sure how many volumes it's going to be. I will probably do volume by volume, because it's not enough for me to just say, hey, I'm just going to wait till it's all done to binge it. I'm probably going to read a couple more volumes as they come out to sort of gauge if I'm going to, you know, continue picking up the series. But if you're into that, magical girls are cool as opposed to magical girls are cute sort of aesthetic feel, then this might be something for you to pick up. Has sort of more of that Madoka tone as opposed to like a Precure tone to it. But yeah, if you're one of those people that likes those kind of things, I might recommend just giving this a go. Not going to blow your mind, but it was fun. I enjoyed it for what it was. Don't think it's anything special though. And next up, I have the infamous How to Build a Dungeon Book of the Demon King, Volume 3, and this is what the series is. You know, there's not much to say. Very lewd, very ecchi, so don't get into it if you don't like those things. But otherwise, if you want that, this is a good time. Has a plot. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. Like, it's decent. It could be good. It might be good. Don't know how good it will get in terms of, like, the narrative. Because it definitely has potential in that lane, or that aspect. But yeah, if you know who you are, if you want to pick more of these up, and if you know you don't like that kind of stuff, then don't pick this up. But yeah, How to Build a Dungeon Book of the Demon King, Volume 3. Next, I have the third and final volume of Hana and Hina After School, and Milk Morinaga does not disappoint with her Yuri series. Very excited to read her next series that is coming out. Hopefully 7 Seas will license it and publish it as soon as they possibly can, because I need more Milk Morinaga. Maybe they will license her other stories that she wrote that they've yet to put out and are sort of older. I would like to see that, 7 Seas. Please, more Milk Morinaga. I would be a very, very happy individual. But yes, if you're a Yuri fan, pick this up. You probably already have, because it has the name Milk Morinaga on it. But yeah, Yuri is great. Milk Morinaga is fantastic. Yay, more Milk Morinaga Yuri. Just, it's great. I want more. And next up, I have the first 2-in-1 volume by that is To Love Ru. This collects the first 2 volumes of the series. This was fun. Sort of an action harem comedy, though there isn't really much of a harem so far. But it does go there. At some point, I'm not sure how into the series we go until the harem starts to surface. It may not really be like harem-y in like the High School DxD sense until like the second season or second series, The Darkness, or To Love Ru Darkness. But yeah, I'll probably pick up more of these and probably just read them volume to volume. If you want a action comedy, maybe something like a Love Hina, I think is what this is sort of similar to. But yeah, I recommend picking this up. It's a fun action comedy with it's not as ecchi as some other series. It's definitely pretty toned down for an ecchi. But yeah, if you want an action comedy, then I definitely recommend picking this up. It was a good time. And next up, I picked up the wonderful and glorious Record of Lotus War, the Grey Witch Gold Edition, or just this great hardcover volume for the first Record of Lotus War series. I hope 7 Seas decides to continue with these amazing, amazing releases, because this is incredible. I mean, it's really hard to, you know, it's just a great release. If you're into Lotus, I definitely recommend picking it up. And this just makes me even more and more excited for their hardcover manga classic collections coming out in 2018, because if it's this quality or better, I'm gonna be so happy and so excited, because this is just a great release, and if they just continue to put out these amazing hardcovers, I will not be able to contain myself. Let's just put it at that. I'm gonna need more funds. But yeah, excellent quality release. Have not read it yet, but it's a classic, so I kind of have an innate desire to just collect it. It will be read at some point. Let me know in the comments down below if you want to see me do a review of it. I know it's not a manga, so it's a little bit different, but yeah, let me know if you want to see that. If you're a fan of Lotus, pick this up. This is an amazing, amazing release. And last up to round off the 7 Seas releases, I have Grimgar, A Fantasy in Ash, Light Novel Volume 4. I haven't gotten further than the first volume. I'm kind of slacking on reading the series, but hopefully I will kick myself in gear and actually sort of read these series to catch up. They aren't releasing so frequently that if I don't just power through them, I'm not going to fall behind very much, but I do need to give this a read. If you're a Grimgar fan, let me know if the series gets better with every volume or not. Yeah, not read this. Do really like Grimgar though, so I need to read this, or read the series and eventually read this volume. But yeah, the 4th volume of the light novel. Now to move into some Tokyopop releases, I have R.I.P. or Requiem in Phony Brian by Tsukasa Mihara. She is the same mangaka that wrote I See in a Sunflower, which I loved. Now, R.I.P. I do not feel is all that great. It's okay, but it's not amazing. So I was a little disappointed in this, but it does have some interesting things going for it, but not really my kind of story per se. But yeah, I have read it. I wouldn't recommend it to too many people, but it's not bad, or at least I didn't think it was bad. It was just kind of okay. Next off, I have Beautiful People by Tsukasa Mihara, and this was fantastic. This was just as good, if not better, than I See in a Sunflower. Now this one, unlike R.I.P., is a collection of short stories like I See in a Sunflower, and these ones I feel were overall slightly better than I See in a Sunflower. The downside being that this volume is more rare to come by and it's more expensive, but it has this nice sort of metallic sort of etching, I guess, imprinting. So the things like she shines and stuff like that, don't know if you can tell very well, but yeah, definitely really enjoyed this, and you know, I've almost picked up all of Tsukasa Mihara's completed series, just have 2 more to go because the Embalmer was never finished published in English. Really wish it would have gotten picked up again, because from what I hear, that is a fantastic series. But yeah, so far, I really enjoyed this work, and if you liked I See in a Sunflower, if you can find this for relatively cheap, then I absolutely recommend picking it up, because it's a fantastic short little read. And next up, I picked up the first 4 out of 6 volumes of Tsukasa Mihara's Doll. Now, this series was sort of inspired, or is kind of similar to I See in a Sunflower, I believe, except for sort of it's longer and is, like, actually has a narrative, but I'm not sure. It may just be more short stories, sort of involving similar concepts. But, yeah, I have not gotten into this. Gonna wait till I have the whole series, and then I'm going to binge it. Now, I do believe this is part of Right Stuff's sort of print-on-demand line of Tokyopop stuff, or at least for volumes 4, 5, and 6, because I'm just going to quickly show you some very noticeable signs. You can see right there how the volume on the right is super, super white, and it's definitely very, very different than the other volumes. It's much heavier. It was priced at their print-on-demand price point. And if you'll notice, there's no price marking on the back, whereas on the other volumes, there is a price marking right there up in the corner, but there is not for Volume 4. So I do believe it is part of their print-on-demand series, which is good for me because it means it's not going to go out of print. At least I don't think it will. But yeah, Volumes 5 and 6 are going to be slightly different than Volumes 1 through 3, and Volume 4 is noticeably different than them, but no difference on the spines. They kept the Tokyopop logo and all that good stuff, so on the shelf it'll look fine. It'll just be, you know, they're higher quality, but they're more expensive. Maybe I'll do a video on Right Stuff's print-on-demand thing, but yeah. Excited to get into this. Really loved I Seen a Sunflower, and Mitsukazu Mihara did a great job with that and Beautiful People, so I'm very, very excited to read this series. And next up, I picked up the 9-volume Yuri series, or the 3 omnibus volume Yuri series put out by One Piece Books, and that is Whispered Words. Now, I have yet to read this because this came in, like, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. It came in yesterday. Now, I am slightly disappointed with the release quality. I know I had heard some whispers, if you will, of how it's not that great. And the volumes are, you know, they do, you know, they're not that great. I hardly opened it up at all, and the spine is bending a lot. So, you know, that's unfortunate, but this is a Yuri series, so I kind of have to collect it. Kind of, because there are some Yuri series I won't collect because they're especially bad. Like, the story is bad, but I hear this one has a very good story, so I kind of bit the bullet and was like, you know what? I want to read it, and I want to have it, so here it is. Here it's a very good Yuri. Yuri fans that are watching this, let me know if it is. But yeah, happy to have it in the collection. Kind of disappointed in One Piece Books, because like their first release of Tenken was great, and it was amazing. Breathe Deeply was a very, not amazing, but it was definitely a good release quality, better than like the Tokyo Ghoul volumes you see here. I felt it was better than those. Smuggler was not super great, and now Whispered Words is even worse than Smuggler. It's unfortunate, but it's not bad to the point of being unreadable, so that's nice. And they were only, I believe, $16 or $17, so they're very cheap for a volume of manga, or 3 volumes of manga actually. So very cheap. If you want a long Yuri on the cheap, then you might want to pick up these Whispered Words volumes. And next up, I have something really special to show you guys. This volume, or this book, is normally incredibly expensive, $60 to $100 on eBay, but I managed to find it for the retail price plus shipping and handling, so I think I paid around $29 for it, and that is The Strange Tale of Panorama Island by Suihiro Maruo. Now, if you are wondering whether or not I recommend picking it up for those ridiculous prices, I would say no, do not do that. Absolutely, 100%, do not pick it up for those crazy prices. I found it for a great deal, and that is why I picked it up. And it's in very, very good condition. The only issue is yellowing of the pages, but that isn't that big of a deal in my opinion. Especially since it's a single, so it's not even misaligned, or not misaligned, miscolored with the other volumes. But yeah, it's not amazing by any means. Do not pick it up for those crazy inflated prices. I lucked out and got it for under $30. I did enjoy it, but it is not a $60 story, okay? Do not go out and pick this up unless you absolutely have to have it, or you can find it for a great price like I did. But yeah, The Strange Tale of Panorama Island by Suihiro Maruo, based on the novel by Edogawa Rampo. So there is that. And next up, I have a little novel here. Now, you might be wondering why I have a novel in a manga haul, or a novel that isn't a light novel, and that is because I'd like to showcase the series that is unlicensed, and I want it to be licensed because it's amazing, one of the best series I've ever read, and I really need to get into the novel. And if it could get a hardcover release, I would be ecstatic, because it absolutely needs one, and you need to go read it. And that is Our Con. Hands down one of the best stories I've ever read. I have not read the novel, which is the original, but I have read the manga adaptation, and that needs, absolutely needs a license, and it needs a release, preferably hardcover, because the series absolutely deserves that quality. If you haven't read it, it is completely scanned. You have to go read it. Absolutely phenomenal. I have an image of the cover on screen right now, but absolutely go read it. Highly, highly recommend checking it out. Let me know if you guys want to see me sort of review the novel. Yeah, go check that out. Going to be reading this. Hopefully it will be even better than the manga counterpart, but very happy to have this. We'll be getting into it. But yeah, go read that manga. It is amazing. Definitely check it out. And last but not least, I have the Ghost in the Shell Deluxe Edition Complete Box Set, and this comes with all 3 of the hardcovers. Not going to fully take them out, just sort of going to take them out like that. These are fantastic releases. I got the box set for $40 on a pre-order on Amazon, which was an absolute steal. I'm very happy to get into Ghost in the Shell, one of the most influential series out there. It also came with a little art card, which I will be showing later. Actually, no, I'm going to show it now. This is the art card you get with the limited edition. Really, really cool, or not limited edition, the box set. Nothing on the back, but nice little artwork. So, if you're into exclusive stuff, this is a nice little collector's sort of art piece here. It's not something amazing. Kind of disappointed there's no poster. But, yeah, there's the art card. There's the box set. I love it. Very happy to get into it, and I got it for a fantastic price. But yeah, that will do it for the manga haul. If you enjoyed, make sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you have recommendations for series, let me know in the comments as well. Or if you just want to talk about the series in the haul, you can do that down there as well. If you want to follow me on Twitter, there is a link to that in the description. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and share. And if you'd like to keep up to date with all of my content, you can hit that subscribe button. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this December 2017 manga haul. I am Laethas. Goodbye.